before you set up the lights on Green. Consider a presentation by East Bay Mud on the planning process of East Bay Mud Water Supply Management Program for information only.
Can you hear me all right?
You practically got kissed at that.
My name is Ann Bontashino, and I represent the East Bay Municipal Utility District. East Bay Mud serves 1.1 million customers throughout the East Bay, and I would like to just say that I appreciate the opportunity to talk before the Emeryville City Council tonight. What I would like to do is just briefly describe our water supply system, and then talk about the water supply issues that face all East Bay Mud customers, and then the water supply management program, which will address these water supply issues. Now, East Bay Mud takes pride in their high-quality water. Essentially, the water is collected along the Mud watershed and collected in our Martin Reservoir, where the water is then carried into 3 aqueducts into our service area. The water is primarily snowmelt, which is from the Sierra, and the water is extremely pristine. It comes down the McCollum River and into our Pardee Reservoir. And then through 3 parallel aqueducts, the sizes range from 65 inches to 87 inches in diameter. This also shows how large those aqueducts are. The man is probably about 6 feet tall. Once the water goes through our aqueducts, it's then taken to our terminal reservoirs, or our local reservoirs in our service area. We have 5 reservoirs, which total a gross volume of about 155,000 acre-feet of water. This is our San Pedro Reservoir, and we allow boating there. This is also San Pablo Reservoir. We have Lafayette Reservoir, Briones, and this is USL, or Upper San Leandro Reservoir. The water is either stored in one of our 5 terminal reservoirs, or it's taken into one of our filter plants and then distributed into our service area. Now, East Bay Mud customers are faced with 3 water supply issues. To provide a secure water supply, to have a secure water supply, to have an adequate water supply, both now and in the future, and also to have high-quality water. Now, East Bay Mud is currently developing a water supply management program to address these water supply needs. The purpose of the program is to identify the necessary actions or projects that will meet the district's water supply needs. It's a 2-phase program. The near-term activities will address near-term needs, and the later phase will address long-term water supply needs. Now, the water quality is very important. One of the reasons is that there are a numerous number of increasing water standards. 10 years ago, we had less water standards than we have today. There are not only more water standards, but the water standards are very stringent. Now, East Bay water is better than both federal standards and state standards. One of the problems that East Bay Mud customers face is we have a decreasing supply of water with an increasing demand. The reason why I say we have a decreasing supply of water is because East Bay Mud is not the only entity that takes water off the McCollum River. And in fact, there are other users along the McCollum River, and we anticipate more users in the future. So we have a decreasing water supply with an increasing water demand. The water demand projections were based on the Association of Bay Area Governments population projections, as well as East Bay Mud water usage projections. And somewhere between the years 1990 and the year 2000, the demand for water will exceed the supply. In normal and wet years, there's an ample water supply today. This is a saltwater party reservoir during normal conditions. The outlet tower, the normal water level is right along here along the outlet tower. The water is then taken along the pipeline and distributed into the service area. During 1976, which was a drought year, the level of Party Reservoir declined considerably. And then during 1977, which was even a drier year, the water level in Party Reservoir went almost to nothing. Now, one way, if you have a supply and demand problem, is to decrease the demand through water conservation methods. And East Bay Meadows initiated a water conservation program, which is detailed in its Urban Water Management Plan. And the Urban Water Management Plan is considered one of the best in the state of California. But water conservation can only provide you a small savings of water. And we've estimated about 7 million gallons per day of water savings by the year 2020. East Bay Meadows needs 60 million gallons per day in order to meet its year 2020 demand. These are some of the water conservation measures that East Bay Meadows is proposing. One way to educate people on the importance of water conservation is through East Bay Meadows education program. Another way to decrease demand is through wastewater reclamation projects. East Bay Meadows is currently studying 3 water reclamation projects: the Chevron Oil Refinery Project, the Gilbert Golf Course Project, and the San Ramon Valley Project. And again, wastewater reclamation is anticipated to save about 5 million gallons per day, so that with conservation and reclamation programs, the total savings would be only 12 million gallons per day. And again, East Bay Meadows needs 60 million gallons per day in order to meet its year 2020 demand. Another way to solve the water supply problem is through terminal reservoirs. And with terminal reservoirs, water can be stored during winter months so that meeting peak summer demand is easier. And water can also be stored during wet years so that during drought years the water is available. East Bay Meadows has studied several terminal reservoir sites within the last year. And in fact, it started off with 26 sites. 3 of the best sites that are being studied right now, even further, is the Pinole site, which is located just east of El Sobrante and southeast of Pinole, the city of Pinole. This is what the Pinole watershed looks like. This is another shot of the Pinole watershed. Another terminal reservoir that East Bay Meadows is giving serious consideration to is the Los Vaqueros Reservoir. The Los Vaqueros Reservoir is located just south of the city of Brentwood. It's located in Contra Costa County. And if East Bay Meadows were to build the Los Vaqueros Reservoir, it would be a joint project with Contra Costa Water District. Another, the third reservoir that East Bay Meadows is giving serious consideration to is the Buckhorn Reservoir. Buckhorn is located just off one of our existing reservoirs, the San Leandro Reservoir. It's located in the central portion of our service area. This is the watershed of Buckhorn Reservoir. This is another shot of the Buckhorn Reservoir. The dam, the proposed dam, would essentially be on this side of the slide. This is what the watershed looks like during winter months. And this is what it looks like in the summertime. We had an aerial photograph taken of Buckhorn Reservoir, and then we had an artist draw in the water to see what it would look like. East Bay Meadows is giving serious consideration to Buckhorn Reservoir for a number of reasons. Buckhorn has several advantages. It is located in the central portion of our reservoir and can serve all filter plants by gravity. It's also also the cheapest reservoir, unit cost-wise. The green area represents the watershed for Buckhorn Reservoir. East Bay Mud owns most of the watershed. The dark blue is the reservoir itself in the inundated area, and as I mentioned before, it is also one of our existing terminal reservoirs, Upper San Leandro. East Bay Mud customers are also faced with another problem, the security of its aqueducts. If there was an outage in the Delta, East Bay Mud customers could experience severe rationing and also may experience having to use either bottled water or low-quality water. The aqueducts, the McConaughey aqueducts, run right through the Delta, and this portion of the aqueduct is particularly susceptible to seismic and flooding events. One of the problems in the Delta is that the soil is very unstable, and there's a lot of subsidence. Now this event. Now if an earthquake should occur in the Delta, even a moderate one, an outage could last up to 17 months. This is a shot of a flood that happened in the Delta in 1980. This is the Jones track, and there was a portion of the railroad embankment that had been washed away, and there's a portion of a railroad car that washed away with it. This is another shot of the flooding in 1980. And as you can see, the railroad embankment was washed away. And again, here's the railroad, one of the cars that got washed away. The McConaughey aqueducts are located down here. Now, what happened was this railroad car had diverted a lot of the flow that would have washed away the aqueduct. So, in a sense, we were very lucky. Now, terminal reservoirs would also provide the security in case of an outage in the Delta. But terminal reservoirs, water conservation, and water reclamation only provide needs for the short term, probably through the year 2020. But East Bay Mud customers are going to continue to need water beyond that time. The rent will continue, and East Bay Mud customers will still exist. And one of the things that East Bay Mud has done is contracted with the Bureau of Reclamation for 150,000 acre-feet of American River water. And you can see why the American River water is desirable. This is the American River, this is the Sacramento River, and it's obvious that the American River is much higher quality water. Eventually, East Bay Mud will need supplemental supply like the American River in order to meet its long-term demand. And currently, the contract with the Bureau of Reclamation is under litigation. Well, in conclusion, East Bay Mud customers are faced with three major issues, water issues: having a secure water supply, having an adequate water supply both now and in the future, and having high-quality water. East Bay Mud is currently preparing the water supply management program that will address these issues through water conservation programs, water reclamation programs, terminal reservoirs, and further studying the Delta to determine the feasibility of secure aqueducts in the Delta. This concludes my presentation. Thank you very much.
Good morning. Does anyone have any questions? Stuart? Andrew, could you respond to a question from the audience?
Stuart Flashman, Kansas 340. This is actually not so much a question as a comment, and I hate to disturb the tranquility of this very pleasant presentation, but I do want to point out as a Sierra Club member that this presentation is not quite as straightforward and non-controversial as it might seem. The Sierra Club is involved in litigation, as long as are several other groups, with the East Bay Municipal Utility District on the Sacramento, use of the Sacramento River. The Sierra Club is also considering litigation regarding the Buckhorn Reservoir, which the Sierra Club considers as an unwarranted construction. The Sierra Club considers that East Bay Municipal Utility District has not been shouldering its responsibility in terms of doing an adequate job of making conservation a priority in its service area. And we should also consider that the East Bay Municipal Utility District has unwisely made a number of decisions to expand its service area beyond the current boundaries. In particular, it has done this in areas where there is a very large amount of water use, in areas in eastern, in southern Alameda County and central Contra County areas that where water usage is much higher than it is here in the nearest part of the bay. And the Municipal Utility District has made no efforts to try and influence the planning processes of those municipalities that are making planning decisions. And this is unlike, for example, on Val 8, of course, Mary Warren will tell you, well, we're just a utility district. We don't have any way to influence planning. We don't have any right to influence planning. But if you look at Caltrans, which has an analogous responsibility in terms of transportation to what East Bay Municipal Utility District has for water, Caltrans certainly intervenes quite forcibly, as the city of Emeryville knows all too well, in terms of our use of freeways. And Caltrans is quite willing to go up against cities to tell them when they're overstepping their bounds in terms of use of roadways. I think even East Bay Municipal Utilities has an equal responsibility to advise cities when they are misusing their water supply. It has not used that responsibility, partly because a number of the current Municipal Utility District board members are quite extensively tied in with developers who are interested in developing these areas in the county, in both Contra Costa and Alameda County. So what I wanted to point out to you is that this there's a lot more controversy in these issues about water use than might meet the casual observer in listening to the East Bay Municipal Utility District presentation. And I hope that the council will remain open to hearing alternative viewpoints on these issues.
Thank you. Anybody else have anything to say?
Yeah, I just have a question. Does East Bay Mud ever sell any water to San Joaquin farmers or any other farm interests in Southern California?
No, not that I know of. Now, East Bay Mud does sell water to Contra Costa Water District on an interruptible basis, primarily because the Contra Costa Water District uses Delta water, and they are concerned about their water quality. It is sold on an interruptible basis, which means that only if it's available, and it doesn't hurt East Bay Mud customers, do we sell water to Contra Costa Water District.
So even if East Bay Mud has an excess of water, they're not shipping it to Southern California?